Let's initialize our project by typing export init. What we would like to name your app, let's give it a name of KNUST AIM. We then proceed with a blank minimal template. So in here it will start installing our JavaScript dependencies. So now that the installation is done, let's cd into our KNUST AIM. Let's open the folder in VS Code with this command, code and a period. When we take a clear look at the AIM app, it consists of a screen where the user will be entering the reference number, that's the student ID, and this screen also leads to another screen where the user will specify the username and password with his credentials. Let's start by creating a folder named as screens. Within the screen folder, let's create a file and name it as reference screen.js. And also let's create another file and name it as login screen.js. So let's use the React Native snippet to generate the template of the whole thing. We do that by typing rnfex, that's React Native Functional Export Component with a style sheet. Let's write some text for now. There is the login screen. Let's do the same as we did for the login screen. So with the reference screen, let's use the snippet, that's React Native Functional Component with a style sheet. Let's start by writing some text for now. There is the reference screen. You can get the React Native snippets from the extensions when you search ex7 react/react/graphql/react native snippets. Let's open our app.js file and start importing the login screen and also the reference screen as well. We do that by using a / to specify the path, and we navigate through the screen folder. So in here, let's try to return the login screen. Let's run yarn 100 to view it on the emulator. So in here you can see our application is running on the SDK phone. There we go. You can see this is the login screen on the emulator. Let's try returning the reference screen as well. We can also see the reference screen. There we go. This was what we were expecting. So let's proceed to the reference screen and start writing some code. When we look at the reference screen, we can see some text and an avatar image with a background color of red. So let's start working on that. Let's start by creating a folder and name it as components. Within the components folder, let's create a file and name it as headerref.js. To generate the template of the whole thing, that's rnfex. Let's create a folder within the assets folder and name it as images. So in here it will be containing all our images on this project. Let's clear the text for now and also the view as well and return the safe area view. So in here we need to import it from React Native. So within the safe area view, let's return another view, and also within that view let's return the image component. There is a self-closing tag. We need to also import the image from React Native. The image has a property called source, so we need to specify the source of the image. Since our image is local and is found within the asset folder, we use the require method. So in here we use the // to specify a path, navigate through the asset folder and also the image folder, then you proceed to give the name of the image. When we check the asset folder and also the image folder, we can see the aim.png there. Let's give some styles to the image. Let's give it a width of 150, a height of 70, display flat, and also a margin top of 20 to push it from the top. Let's import our header ref screen in our reference screen. So import header ref from // this time around is found within the components folder and the name of the file, which is header ref. Let's clear the text now and return the header ref. It's a self-closing tag. Oh, there we go. We found the AIM image on the screen. Let's proceed. Let's import dimensions from React Native. And also let's create a constant variable of a width and height and assign the dimension. We use the get method and pass in a window to get the entire window of the screen. Let's give some styles to the view within which our image is found. So let's give it a width of width. This means it should take the entire width, and also a height divided by 4. The background color of this, that's the red color. And also within the image, let's specify one more styling, a left of width divided by 3. Let's start the save area view. Let's align items at the center and also justify content center. Wow, there we go. You can see our AIM text is found within the middle with a background color of red. So when you take a clear look at the reference screen, it also consists of an avatar. Let's proceed to do so. Let's run this command: yarn add React Native elements. I'll be using yarn throughout my project. One can work with npm install React Native element. Another one can also work with expo install React Native element. So in here I'll be using yarn. So yarn add React Native element. So within the React Native element, we can get the avatar there. So now that the installation is done, let's import the avatar from React Native element. Let's create one more view in here. Within that view, let's render the avatar component. It's a self-closing tag. The avatar has a property of rounded, which means the avatar should have a circle shape, and also it has a size property. Let's give it a size of extra large. It also has a source property. We need to specify the source of the avatar. So in here, our avatar is found within the asset folder and the image folder as well. So we navigate through the asset folder and also the image folder and give the name of the avatar. So in here I've named it avatar.jpg. So when you check within the asset folder and the image folder, we can see our avatar in there. Whoa, there we go. We can see our avatar in the middle having that rounded shape with a property of an extra large. Let's proceed. Let's import the input and the button from React Native elements. So beneath the header ref, we need to specify a view. Within that view, let's return the input as a self-closing tag. So in here, the input has a property of type. So let's specify the type to be a number, since the user will be entering the reference number, and also a placeholder which says enter your student ID. It also has a property called value. So let's give the name of the value as student ID. So let's create a state for that. To do that, we need to import useState from React. useState is a hook in React that accepts 2 parameters with a current state, and the next parameter is the one that updates the current state. So in here, the current state will be the student ID, and the next one will be set the student ID and assign the useState of an empty string to that. It also has a keyboard type. Let's give it a keyboard type of numeric, since we'll be entering our reference number. and also we need to secure our text. We do that with secure text entry. It also has a property called unchanged text. So in here, it grabs the text the user is entering and use the set student ID to update the text the user is entering. Let's render the button as well. It's a self-closing tag. The button has a property called title. So let's give the title as next, and also let's give some stylings to the button, a background color of red, and also a width of 300, some border radius of 20. Okay, there we go. We need to also give some stylings to the input as well, a padding of 18, width of 300, and a margin top of 100, just to push it from the top. Let's give some style to the view as well by aligning items at the center and also justifying content at center. Let's also render one more view beneath the button. Let's return the avatar component, and also we need to import it from React Native Elements. Let's give it a size of small. It should be rounded as well, and also we need to specify the source. It's found within the asset/images and the name of the avatar. Let's copy it 5 more times. So in here we need only to change the name of the image. So we have the notification image, we have the feeds image, and also we have the results image, the profile image as well, the slip image, and also the registration image as well. So when we check within the asset folder and also the image folder, you can see all these images there, the feeds, notification, profile, registration, results, and slip as well. There we go. Let's proceed to write some code. Let's give some styles to the avatar as well. Let's give it a flex direction of row to align it horizontally, and also justify content center, and also you need to give it a margin top of 270 just to push it from the top. When we focus on the input, it pops up the numeric keypad. This was possible when you specify the keyboard type to be numeric, and also when you keep on entering the numbers, it changes to dot. This was due to the secure text entry we specify. Let's move on. So in here we can see we are done with our reference screen, everything nicely formatted as we expected. We need to work on the login screen as well. So when you enter your student ID, you hit on next, then you'll be navigated to another screen. So we need to work on the login screen as well. So remember, in the login screen we have a text which says this is the login screen. So we are now going to work on the login screen. It won't take my time. We only need to import the header ref just to format the header, and also with 2 inputs, one specified as username and the other specified as password. Wow, there we go. So in here we can see our header ref component being rendered nicely with a text beneath it which says this is the login screen. Let's copy the code within the reference screen. It looks much similar. All we need is to add one input where it will be specified as password, and also we need to change a couple of things in there. So let's copy that and paste it within the login screen. Since the input is username, it requires the type to be text, and also the placeholder to be username, and also a value should be specified as username, not student ID. We need to clear the keyboard type and also the secure text entry as well. Import useState from React to keep track of the values. Let's copy one more line of code from the reference screen and paste in there. So in here the parameters will be changed to username and set username and assign a useState of an empty string to that. So we need to change the value to username. Let's copy one more input. It will have the same type as test, a placeholder of password, and also the value will be password. Set username will be changed to set password. So we need to create one more state, and in there the parameters will be password and set password, and assigning a useState of an empty string. We need to change the title of the button as well. Let's give it a title of verify, and also the button has a property called type. Let's specify the type to be clear. Show as a clear button with the same styling. Let's specify one more view below the button. Within that view, let's render the test component and let's write forget password. Let's give some style to the view within which the test is found, a margin top of 15 just to push it from the top. And also we need to import touchable opacity from React Native and wrap the test component within a touchable opacity. We need to import the input, button and avatar as well within the login screen. It's very important. So in here our JavaScript bundle is being built. Wow, there we go. Everything is nicely formatted with an input of username, password and a button of verify. It also have a touchable forget password test in there. Let's create one more file within the component folder and name it as header.js. We need to copy the code in the header ref.js and paste it within the header.js. All we need to change is the name of the header ref and also where the avatar is specified as avatar.png. We need to change it from avatar.png to code.png. Oh sorry, it's avatar.jpg. That's the extension for the image. Wow, we can see our image in there. Correct. So we are done with the login screen. So when we try to return the reference screen, you can see enter your student ID. And also when we try to return the login screen, we have two inputs. One is the username and the other is the password. So we need navigation to handle this. That's what we'll be teaching in our next build. So stay tuned. In today's tutorial, we will be covering the home screen as well and also implement some stack navigation. Let's start by implementing the navigations between the screens. These are the dependencies we need to install for the navigation. We need to add React navigation /native and also we need to add React navigation /stack and also we need to install the React navigation gesture handler and also React native max view as well. So let's proceed. You can choose to install it individually, so I'll install it all together in here. You can see in here that we have a successful installation. So when we check the package.json file under the dependencies, we can see React navigation / native and stack, and also the gesture handler, but we don't have the max view. Let's install that one and add one more dependencies, which is the React native screens. Let's do that. Oh, there we go. So you can see we have everything successfully installed and set up. So let's start by creating a folder and name it as navigations. Within the navigation folder, let's create one file and name it as stacknavigation.js. That will handle our stack navigations. And also within the stack navigation, let's import React from React. Let's also import the login screen as well. And also finally, let's import the reference screen. We need to import the create stack navigator from at React navigation / stack. And also we need to create a constant variable of a stack and assign the create stack navigator as a function to it. In this case, we are initializing the stack. So let's create one more function. That's the main stack navigator. It's an arrow function. That returns the stack.navigator. Within the stack.navigator, we have the stack.screens that will handle our screens. In this here we have two screens. That's the reference screen and the login screen. So stack.screens, it has a property of a name. Let's give it a name of a reference, and also one more property is components. So the components here is the reference screen we just imported. Let's create one more stack screen. So in here we change the name to login and the component also to login screen. Let's pass in some options. We don't need the header to be shown, so let's pass in a header shown of false. Let's do the same for the login screen. Let's pass in a header shown of false. And also we need to export this to use it somewhere, so we do export default main stack navigator. So with this code added, you can handle navigation between the screens. Let's open our reference screen. So within the reference screen, let's destructure it and pass in navigations. The button has one more property, that's the on press. Let's give it a name as login. Let's proceed to create the login function. So within the login function, we need an if-else statement just to handle some validation. So if the student id.length is equal to 0, there should be an alert function with a message of required field is missing, else we should navigate to the login screen. As simple. So let's do the same for the login screen. Let's make some distraction in here and pass in navigation. So with the button property of onPress, let's give it a name of verify. Let's proceed to create the verify function. So in here, the username.length or the password.length, if it's equal to 0, there should be an alert function with a message of required field missing. Otherwise, we should navigate to the home screen. Let's create one more file within the screen folder and name it as home screen. Let's type rnfex. Boom, there we go. Let's start by writing some text for now. This is the home screen. Let's move to the stack navigator and create one more stack screen with the name of home screen and a component of home screen as well. To use that, we need to import it, and also we want the header to be shown, so we will clear the options in there. Let's open our app.js file and import navigation container from React Navigation /native. And also we need to import the stack navigator from navigation folder. Let's get rid of this in a moment. So within the app function, we need to return the navigation container, and within the navigation container we need to render the stack navigator there. Building a JavaScript bundle in here. There we go. So let's try to see if the navigation works. Sure, it works perfectly, so let's try it to work on the home screen. When we take a clear look at the home screen, the header has a background of red with icons on the left and right side of it. Let's start working on the header. Let's import use layout effect from React. It's one of the hooks in React. Let's invoke the use layout function. So in here, let's destructure the home screen and pass in navigation, so we can use it within the use layout effect. So within the use layout effect, let's type in navigation.set options and start working on the header. So let's give it a title of aim, and it also have a header style property. Let's set the background to red, and also a header title style. Let's give it a color of white, a header tint color of black, and also a property of header left. So within the header left, let's return a view. So within that view, let's use the touchable opacity component. We need to import it from React Native. Let's import icon from React Native element. So within the touchable opacity component, let's render the icon component. It has a property of name, so let's name it as menu. Let's give it a size of 24 and a color of white. There we go. So you can see our touchable menu icon there with a header title of aim and a background color of red. Let's copy the header left property and paste it. So in here we need to change the header left to header right and start working on the right side of the header icon. So we need to return the avatar component with a source property of from the asset folder and also the image folder, and also a size of small, and we need to import it as well from React Native. Let's copy the code in here. We need to change the name to .3 vertical with the same property, and this icon is from a type name as ntypo, so with a type of ntypo. See, by default the icons are aligned vertically. Let's give some stylings to the view to align them horizontally. Let's give it a flex direction of row just to align it horizontally, and also justify content space around to give space between the icons. Let's give it a weight of 60 and also a margin right of 0.5. So let's see how they are arranged. There we go. So you can see they are aligned horizontally with the flex direction of row, having that touchable feature. Let's import card from React Native. Let's get rid of the text in here and return a scroll view just to make it scrollable. We need to import it from React Native. Within the scroll view, let's render the card component. So within the card component, we have card.image. Let's specify the source of the card image, which is within the asset folder and the image folder, and name as image.jpg. Wow, there it is. You can see the card with the image within. Let's move on. So we need to work on the next card, which has a quick access, and beneath this it has the avatar or the icons. So let's work on that. So beneath the card, let's render one more card. Let's use the text component to write the text quick access. Let's start it by giving it a font size of 20 and also a top of 15. Below the text, let's render the icon with a name of .3 vertical and a size of 20, a color of black, with a type of Untitled. Let's give some style to the icon, a left of 170 and a bottom of 20. Let's type in card.divider to create a horizontal line to separate it from the icons beneath it. Oh, okay, nice in here. Let's work on the icons. Let's create a view for the avatar with a size of medium and also a source of the image. And let's wrap the avatar within a touchable opacity to make it clickable. Let's start a view by giving it a flex direction of row. Just find content of space around and a left of 30. The avatar should be rounded as well. So let's cut that. It should be found within the card image. Let's copy the avatar component and duplicate it 2 more times. So in here we need only to change the source of the image, the name of the image. So we have a name of registration. The next one is results. So let's copy that starting from the view and paste it 1 more time. So let's change the name to notifications and also the other to fees and this to sleep. There we go. So let's give it a margin top just to push the icons from the top. Let's give it a margin top of 40. Let's see in here. Wow, everything is arranged in that order. Let's continue. So in here I've written the name of the icons with the text component and give it a style with a top of 50 and a right of 60 to each individual icon. Let's return 1 more card for the news. Let's use the text component to write the news, and also let's start the text. Give it a font size of 25 and the bottom of 10. We need to render char.divider to divide it. So in here we need to give some text to the heading of the news. Let's give it a font size of 18 and a bottom of 10. Hey, I forgot to add the email and the phone number. It comes before the news, so let's do that. Let's render one more card above the news. Wow, it's perfect in here. So let's give the text the following styles. Wow, it's perfect in here. So in here I'll go with some boilerplate of the news. Yeah, hard-coded writing. With time I'll teach with fetching of API news. So let's proceed with this for now. Let's give it a heading of this. So let's also give the details of the news as this, with a card divider beneath it. Let's copy it 3 more times to see the scrollable feature in it. Sure, there we go. Everything is working perfectly. Thanks for staying with me and building this together. If you find this video to be useful, smash that thumbs up button and share the video as well to reach many, and also leave a comment in the section below. I'm interested in that. And hit that bell icon to subscribe to get related videos of the AIM app. So in our next tutorial we'll be covering the drawer navigation of the AIM app. Until then, stay tuned. During our previous build of the home screen, we left one essential feature where the user will update his or her contacts. So I did that in here by creating a view for the 2 buttons with a title of yes and no, and align them horizontally by giving it a flex direction of row, and also justify the content on flex end just to be on the right side of the screen. In today's build, we will be focusing on the drawer navigation. We want to add functionality on the menu icon that whenever you click that, it toggles the drawer menu. Let's run yarn add at React navigation / drawer and also install the React Native reanimated. We already have some dependencies installed during our previous build, so we need these 2 dependencies to continue. And when we check the package.json file, we can see our packages we just installed in here. Let's proceed to create a file within the navigation folder and name it as drawer navigator.js. That will handle our navigations and the drawer screens. So within that, let's import React from React and also import create drawer navigator from React navigation / drawer. We then proceed by creating a constant variable of drawer and assign the create drawer navigator as a function to it. Let's create a drawer navigator function. Wow, so in here GitHub Copilot is suggesting what I'm about to do, and that's exactly what I'm about to do. Creating the drawer navigator with an initial route name of home. Within that, you find the drawer.screens. You can check out from the extensions GitHub Copilot. Very nice extension. Within the app.js file, let's import drawer navigator instead and render it within the navigation container. Let's add functionality for the menu icon. The touchable opacity has a property called onPress. So let's render a function within the onPress to toggle the drawer menu. And we do that with navigation.toggleDrawer as a function. Within the drawer navigator, let's export it as a default function. And also for the main stack navigator, let's give it a header shown of false. Otherwise, we have a 2 header shown. There we go. So in here we can see the drawer navigation whenever we click on the menu icon. Let's add React Native vector icons to install all the icons we'll be using in today's build. And to do that, we run this command yarn add React Native vector icons. One can work with expo install React Native vector icons. Another one can work with npm install React Native vector icons. So I'll be using yarn. So we have a successful installation in here. So let's import the font awesome from React Native vector icons. So within the options, let's pass in one more option, that's the drawer icon. So it's an arrow function. So within that, let's render the font awesome there. It's a self-closing tag. So within the font awesome, it has a property called name. Let's give it a name of home with a size property of 25. There we go. You can see the icon nicely there. And also we need to work on the header profile with our background image. So within the drawer.navigator, let's pass in one more property, and that is the drawer content. Let's pass in props. Props is just the same as property, so that's the property of the drawer content. Within that, let's return the save area view. Remember, we need to import it from React Native, so let's do so. Within the save area view, we have the image background. That will be the background image for the profile, and we need to import it from React Native as well. The image background has a property called source, and we need to specify the source of this image background, and it's found within the asset folder and the image folder, and the name of this image background is drawerprofile.jpg. Let's give some styles to the image background. Let's give it a width of 280, height of 150, and align items flex start, and also let's justify content center. So within the image background, we have image, and that image will be our profile image, and it's found within the asset folder and the image folder as well, with a name of code with tapka.png. Let's proceed to give a style to this image. Let's give it a width of 80, height of 80, and a border radius of 80 divided by 2 to make it rounded. Yeah, and also let's give it a margin button of 270 just to push it from the bottom. So beneath the image background, is a drawer item list, and that simply renders the screen we'll be creating. So we will pass in a props in there with 3 dots and props, and what this does is that it just make a copy of the screens we'll be creating, and this property is called the spread operator. So we need to make a return in here. So let's save the changes in here and see. Well, we did. We need to create a pages for each of these drawer items. So let's start with a profile. Let's create a folder and name it as drawer items. Within the drawer items folder, we need to create a file and name it as profile.js. Guess what? RNFEX. There we go. Let's start with the text. This is the profile screen. Let's move on to the drawer navigator and create one more drawer screen. So in there we need to change the name of the drawer screen to profile, and also the component to profile as well. Remember to import it from the drawer items. And also let's change the name of the icon to be user with the same size. Let's save the changes in here. Save the changes in here. Wow, nicely in there. So you can see this is the profile screen. So what we need to do is that we need to work on the header of the profile screen. So let's do that. Let's move to the home screen and copy the use layout effect function to create the profile header. So within the profile.js, we need to import use layout effect from React. It's one of the hook in React. You can check it out. Below the profile function, let's paste the use layout function. There we go. We need to close the bracket as well and add a dependency. Let's change the title to profile and also the structure in here, and pass in navigation. And also we need to pass navigation as a dependency as well. Don't forget to import the touchable opacity from React Native, and also the icon from React Native elements. So let's do so. So within the drawer navigator, we need to clear the header shown of false for the profile screen. So we can see our profile header with that menu icon and the text beneath it, which says this is the profile screen. Wow, there we go. So we need to work on the registration page as well. Let's create a file within the drawer items and give it a name of registration.js. So within that, guess RNFEX. There we go. Let's write this text. There's the registration screen. Let's move to the profile.js and copy the use layout effect function to create the header for the registration. We need to import the use layout effect from React. So in here we need to import the touchable opacity from React Native and also the icon from React Native element. Let's do so. Let's move on to the drawer navigator and add one more drawer screen for the registration. So we need to change the name to registration, the component to registration, and also we need to change the icon as well. remember to import the registration from the drawer items. And in here, for the icon, it has a name of file invoice with the same size property, and this icon is coming from font awesome 5, and we need to import it from React Native vector icons. We need to import font awesome 5 from React Native vector icons. Let's pass in navigation within the registration function. We need to make some distraction and pass in navigation, and also we need to change the title to registration. Let's save the changes in here. Let's check out. Wow, there we go. You can see our registration. So what's next? You need to work on the results as well. So let's create our more file within the drawer items and give it a name of result.js. So we'll be doing some trick. Let's copy the whole of the code in the registration and paste it within the result. So we need to change the title in here to result. We need to change the text as well to result screen, and also we need to change the function to result, and also we need to export the result as a default function. So let's visit the drawer navigator and create one more drawer screen and give the name as result with its component of result. You need to import it from the drawer items. So in here the icon is check squared with the same size property of 25. There we go. You can see the result in there. Let's proceed with the fees page and also the notification as well. So within the drawer items, let's create a file and name it as fees.js. So let's copy the whole of the code in the result screen and paste it within the fees.js. So in there we need to change the result to fees and also the title to fees, and also within the text component we need to change the result to fees as well, just to verify. And also we need to export the fees as a default function. So we need to create one more drawer screen within the drawer navigator. Let's give it a name of fees, component of fees, so the name of the icon in here will be changed to money with the same size of 25. Let's create one more file within the drawer items and name it as notification.js. Let's copy the whole of this code within the fees and paste it within the notification. So in there we need to change the fees to notification, and also we need to change the title to notification, and also within the text component let's write no new notification yet, and also we need to export the notification as a default function. So let's create one more drawer screen within the drawer navigator and change the name of the drawer screen to notification. The component to notification, you need to import it from the drawer items. So in here the name of the icon is the bell icon. You need to import it from the drawer items. So let's do that. Wow, so you can see our feeds and notification pages being created with a nice icon. I will be doing same for the course material, lecture assessment, settings, and also the help and feedback. The same thing, we only need to change a couple of things in there. So in there I will speed up a little bit, so let's proceed. Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Let me show you a quick demo in today's build. In today's build, we'll be adding dark theme to the app, that whenever you toggle the icon, the theme will change to dark and vice versa. And we'll be doing this with the use of Context API and also creating our own custom hooks. So with that said, let's proceed. Let's add functionality to the three icons that whenever you click on it, you'll be logged out to the reference screen. The icon is wrapped within a touchable opacity component. So the touchable opacity has a property called onPress. So whenever the icon is clicked, what should happen? That's when the onPress come in. You'll be navigating to the reference screen. So we use navigation.navigate and passing the screen name, that's the reference. So as you can see, we've been navigated to the reference screen. There we go. This is where I will introduce you to the Context API. The use context is a hook in React that allows you to create your own context for managing state, so that you can use it globally or within a scope in which you will define. So we start by creating a folder and name it as hooks. And also within that file, let's name it as theme context. So within that, let's import React from React. Since we'll be creating a context, you also need to import the create context from React. We also need to create a theme provider function. So export const theme provider, and it's another function. Within that is a return value. Let's also create a state within a theme provider. The current state is dark theme, and the next parameter is the one that manipulates the current state, and thus set dark theme and assign a useState function and pass in boolean with a value of true. So our current state, that's the dark theme, has a value of true. We then proceed to create the theme context. We do that with const theme context and assign the create context we import from React, just like that. So within the theme provider, we need to return the theme context dot. We have a couple of options here: the provider, consumer, and display name. We'll be using the provider. So within the theme context dot provider, we'll pass in the children. So we need to destructure the theme provider function and pass in children. We'll be wrapping the navigation container with the theme provider. So whatever is found within the theme provider is considered as a child. So we have multiple, so it's children. Let's proceed to create the toggle theme function that will be switching between the dark mode. So within that, let's set dark theme. So the previous theme as a parameter, we'll be returning the negation of that. So the current state is true, the negation will be false. So whenever the toggle theme is clicked, it will return the negation of that. So let's proceed to create a context for that. So with the constant variable of theme context update, we assign the create context function to it. So below the theme context provider, we also need to create the theme context update provider and pass in the children. Don't forget to import the useState from React, and also we'll be creating our own custom hooks in here. So let's do so. Let's give the name of our hook as useTheme, and we'll be exporting it as well. So within the useTheme function, let's return the use context of a theme context we just created. So in here we create a context and now we are using it. So don't forget to import the use context from React. So let's copy that and create one more hook. So the name here will be use theme update, and we'll be using our theme context update. So we need to change that. The theme context provider has only one property, that's the value. So for the first one, let's pass in a value of the current state, that's the dark theme. And for the theme context update provider, let's pass in a value of that function, that's the toggle theme. Within the app.js, let's import our theme provider we just created from hooks/theme context. Then proceed to wrap the navigation container with the theme provider. So in this case, we are having access to each screen and page within the navigation container. So let's start implementing the dark mode from the reference screen. So within the reference screen, let's import the use theme from hooks and also from the theme context as well. Let's initialize that by creating a constant variable of a dark theme and assign the use theme hook we just created. So let's create our own theme styles in here. So a constant variable of a theme styles that returns an object. So within that, let's set a background color based on condition. So if the state of the dark theme is true, we'll be having the color of this, that's the dark color. Otherwise, we'll be having the default theme color, that's the white color. So the view will be having our theme styles we just created. So let's give it a style of our theme styles, and to be switching based on the condition we just give it to it. Whoa, there we go. You can see our theme with that dark feature. Let's proceed on the login screen. And also for the login screen, we will do the exact same thing as we did for the reference screen. We will import the use theme from hooks/the theme context, and also we create a dark theme and assign the use theme as a function to it. We then proceed by creating a theme styles and set a background color based on the dark theme. So for the view, we give it a style of our theme styles. There we go. We can see our background color set to that dark mode feature. Let's proceed with the home screen. So within the home screen, let's import use theme from /hooks/theme contest, and we need to initialize that with constant dark theme and assign the use theme as a function to that. We then proceed to create the theme styles for that, and within the theme styles you have the background, and the background will be based on the dark theme style. So if the dark theme has a state which is true, it will render the dark theme, else it will return the default color. So for the scroll view, let's give it a style of our theme styles we just created. That's it. Let's proceed. Let's check it out. There we go. So you can see our background is set to dark color with that card. So we need to work on each card to turn into that dark color. Let's add functionality to the logo that whenever it's clicked, it will change the dark theme to the light mode, and also whenever it's clicked again, it will return to the dark mode. So let's add a functionality. We need to import use theme update from hooks/theme contest we just created, and also let's proceed to create a constant variable of a toggle theme and assign the use theme update. So within the logo, there it is, it's wrapped within a touchable opacity, and the touchable opacity has a property of on press. So whenever it's pressed, we need to toggle the theme to either dark mode or light mode. So let's add that. So we do that with on press with a callback function which is set to the toggle theme. As simple as that. Let's save the changes in here and see. There we go. So you can see our logo is having that functionality of changing the theme of the app. The card has a property called container style. So giving the style to the card will be based on the dark theme. So if the state of the dark theme is true, we will set the background color to be the theme styles background color, and the theme styles will also be based on a condition. So else the background color will be returned to a default. Oh, there it is. Let's proceed. We need to copy that and do same for each of the card. So let's do that. So in here, something weird happened. When the theme is set to dark mode, the text also is being set to dark mode. So let's do that. So for the quick access test, it will be based on the dark theme. So if the dark theme is set to true, we'll return the same property, but we'll give it a color of white, else it will be set to the default color. As simple. So we will be using the same logic for the others. It will be based on the dark theme, and if the dark theme has a state of true, we will have the same property, but we will set the color to be based on the dark theme. So I'll be speeding up in here. Let's proceed to work on the navigation bar. So within our app.js, let's import dark theme from @react navigation /native. So within a navigation container, it has a property called theme, and we set that to dark theme. Wow, there we go. We also need to change the icons on the navigation bar to that white color. So let's work on that. Let's open our drawer navigation. Within the drawer navigation, let's import use theme from /hooks and also the theme context. So let's create a constant variable for dark mode and assign the use theme as a function to it. So in here, the color of the icon will be based on the dark theme state. So if the state is set to true, okay, let's create our theme styles. Well, we did. We've successfully created a dark mode feature in the AIM. Hope you find this video to be useful. Subscribe to this channel if you've not done so. Leave a comment in the section below and also give it a thumbs up. See you in our next tutorial. Until then, stay tuned.